Hello, today we're going to look at section 2, day 1. So multiplying binomials, you should find this on page 5. Today we're going to look at how to multiply problems that look like this. So if we had a problem that looked like x plus 3 times x plus 10. These two terms are called binomials. So the other day we talked about a polynomial being one or more items in a term. A binomial would be two terms. The prefix bi stands for 2. So I have x plus 3 times x plus 10. I have two binomials being multiplied. So when we multiply these binomials, we can't just do what we've been doing with distributing. We're going to use a technique called FOIL. And FOIL is just a fancy way of multiplying these together. So let me tell you what that acronym stands for. The F stands for first. So F stands for first, O stands for outer, the I stands for inner, and the L stands for last. So let me show you how that works on a problem like this. The first is going to be multiplying, and I'm going to write here, we are multiplying. That's the key. So we are going to multiply the first term in each of the parentheses. So I'm going to point here x times x. So x times x is x squared. Okay. The outer would be, if you look at this as one big item, the outer would be the x on the left and the 10 on the right. So I'm going to connect x to 10. So x times 10 is 10x. So plus 10x because that 10 is positive. So I did first, outer. The inner would be the two right next to each other, the 3 and the x. So 3 times x is 3x, so plus 3x. The last would be the last in each set of parentheses, so the 3 and the 10. 3 times 10 is 30, so plus 30. So I did first, outer, inner, last. When we FOIL, we'll have these four terms. And then if you notice, these two that have an x variable are like terms I can combine them. So 10x plus 3x is 13x. So the result is x squared plus 13x plus 30. Now, FOILing is just a fancy way to distribute. Okay, so I want to show you on example 1 another way to accomplish FOILing without thinking about first, outer, inner, last. So I'm going to rewrite the problem over to the side. So the goal here is I need to multiply the first x by both the x and the 8 in the second set of parentheses, and then go back and grab the 3 and multiply by the x and the 8. So I'm going to draw my arrows and lines a little different. I'm going to have to multiply x times x and x times 8. Okay, so let's do that. X times x is x squared. X times 8 here is plus 8x. Now go back and grab the 3, and I have to do that to the x and the 8. So I'm going to do 3 times x, 3 times 8. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24. So I have the 8x and the 3x combined. So x squared, 8 plus 3 is 11. So x squared plus 11x plus 24. So I want to relate that to FOIL. So I'm going to give you two methods and have you pick the one that works best for you. So when we FOIL, and I'm going to rewrite this to give myself a little bit more room. Okay, FOIL would be the first, the outer, the inner, the last. So the first two terms are x and x, that's x squared. The outer would be x and 8, so there's my plus 8x. The inner is 3 and x, so plus 3x, and the last would be 3 times 8, plus 24. So I will arrive at the same thing because I have my 8x and my 3x will combine together. So x squared plus 11x plus 24. So FOILing is just a catchy way to remember to multiply first, outer, inner, last. But I'm going to write the word distribute over here. You are really just distributing. But the key is you have to multiply. There are 4 different items. You need 4 different terms until you combine. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do both methods here again. So I'm going to do FOILing on example 2. Scoot this up a little bit. And I'm going to do this distributing method over here. So let me write this out. Times x plus 8. So when I FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. So the first would be x times x, that's x squared. The outer would be x and 8, that's plus 8x. The inner is 4 and x, so plus 4x. The last is 4 times 8, so plus 32. And at any time in this video, feel free to pause so that you can catch up and think about it. Otherwise, you will have a hard time keeping track of this new idea. I always look for terms that combine. So I look for the x, same variable, same power. So x squared, 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 12x plus 32. Okay, let me go through distributing then if the FOIL is not quite sticking. I'm going to multiply the first x times the second set of parentheses x and the 8. So x times x is x squared. X times 8 is positive 8x. Go back to the 4 and point to the x and the 8. So I have to do 4 times x, which is 4x. 4 times 8 is 32. So again, here are those two terms that will combine together. X squared plus 12x plus 32. You do not have to do both methods. I'm wanting you to look at both of these methods and really think about which way makes more sense to you and pick one method. All right, so let's look at number 3, because so far we have had simply all positive numbers. Okay, so number 3 right here, I'm going to give myself a little more room over here. I'm going to go ahead and go through the distributing method where I point to it and multiply. Now remember, if it says -3 right here, the 3 is negative. So I will be multiplying by a negative when I do work with the 3. So I'm going to take the 2x and multiply by x and multiply by 1. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. So I have 2x squared plus 2x. Now grab the -3 and I'm going to multiply by the x and multiply by the 1. So -3 times x is -3x. So write down -3x. -3 times 1 is -3. So look for terms that can combine. I see x and x, so I'm going to circle positive 2x and -3x. So 2 minus 3 is -1. So I will bring down 2x squared. This is -1x, minus x, and then -3. Okay, and so what we are trying to do is simplify to this step, and we are done. X squared will not combine with x to the first. So what I'd like you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and stop this video. I am going to record solutions to these other 4 examples in the next video. So I want you to try all 4 on your own, and then I want you to pull up the next video and check your work. Okay, so keep in mind you have some negatives and positives here, and so you'll have to make sure you pay attention to all of that. So stop the video, finish the 4 you tries, go to the next video, and go ahead and check your work.